Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take the latest release from Kyosho, the Dirt Cross four-wheel drive Lazer SB. Now we've had this one for probably close to 2 weeks now, and I've just been gradually doing step by step as I've come home basically in the afternoon, worked on it in the shed here, thoroughly enjoyed the build, and I figured it was worthwhile doing a video. Now I have gone ahead, I've built the kit. And today's video we're just going to have a quick look at that. I did take some photos along the way, so we'll run through some of the things that I found might be beneficial for you out there building, and then we'll do a bit of a rundown on the kit, maybe compare it to what I think's probably it's not its competitor, because they're both priced completely different, but I guess the closest thing you would probably think Tamiya wise would be the TTO2B. Now this is light years ahead of that, but I guess same shaft driven four-wheel drive buggy, and by the time you throw a lot of hop-up parts into the TTO2B, you'll probably find that it's going to be very similar, if not as good as this one straight out of the box. So we'll have a look at the chassis, I'll show you what I've done with it. You've probably seen the thumbnail already, but definitely a cool kit, and it was something different and interesting to build on the channel.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight. Don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase. So catch me if I fall.
So first up, let's take a look at the body. And I did thoroughly enjoy building this one. Each afternoon I just, as I said before, just did a step at a time. And when it came to the body, I wasn't really sure what to do, because I do like the blue colour on the box art, and I actually have seen some people do like the tomahawk, instead of going the sort of red box art colour, do that in blue, and they look absolutely cool as well. So I figured we won't go exactly box art, and my theory behind it is because there was a lot of stickers that you had to put on the kit towards the back of the shell here that were black. So I figured if we went into a faded out some colours into a black, I can avoid putting all the stickers that might lift further down the line, get dirt underneath them, and it may not look as nice after we've used it a few times. So I went with a fluorescent yellowy green colour into a blue, and then faded into the black. Now I think it's come out all right. We'll try and get the fade in the camera there. Yeah, not too bad, and it is something different. And I think the more and more that I've built cars, I do try and do something a little bit different, just because you post a picture of your car, or you put your content on YouTube, and I guess having a point of difference, to me, if I were going to go and look at someone else's channel and I've already seen 10 videos of the same thing, I guess this is just something a little bit different out there for the viewers to look at. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Not too sure about the front colour where the fades into the blue, but definitely the blue into the black is my favourite part. But I guess the front is a little bit different, and as you can see there, I did sort of put a bit of sort of splattered black paint in there, just for something different as well. So yeah, we'll take the body off. I'll show you the electronics that I put in it, and then we'll run through some of the things that I found in the build that were maybe a little bit frustrating. But all in all, it was a very, very nice build, and quite refreshing after building some of the team associated kits that I've recently built. Just before we take a look at the chassis there, I'll just try and get a better photo. So there's the body there, and I think it's come out quite nice. And obviously I backed it in black, just so that when you look through the windows, you don't sort of see the different colours. But that's just what I do. You do use a little bit more paint. But anyway, we'll get on to the chassis here, because I think this is the kind of masterpiece of it all. Now, the first thing you'll notice then when you do look at this chassis is there is a lot of plastic. I think it's sort of reinforced plastic. I could be wrong, but it all is very, very sturdy, and it all comes together perfectly. And yeah, build-wise, a little bit different to what you might be used to with some other kits that I've built recently. Sort of first up, you're building shocks and diffs and things like that. But metal gears, nice shocks that you get. They're kind of like a plastic big bore sort of style shock. The steering, you know, we've got an adjustable sort of spring rate steering on there. But the one thing I guess that did sort of let me down when I started to build the kit was, you know, there was little things in here. So Kyosho have put a lot of bearings in this kit, a lot of metal gears, metal motor mount, nice alloy prop shafts. So they've really done a really good job at that. I think the tyres are really nice also. Not too sure about the wheels, but you can always change that. Tyre rod adjustment everywhere. Two areas that I felt really let the kit down, but I was able to find some things here to rectify that, was the outdrive sections on the diff. So inside the diff and the gear casings where the diffs are held, all bearings, but it used plastic bushings on the where the cups go into the diff. Now, I did have some bearings that fit, so I could replace those, and I'll put a picture up while we're talking about that. Now, I did build one of the diffs without the bearings, and I built one with the plastic bushings, and you could definitely tell the difference. So I guess for, you know, efficiency and sort of battery life and general wear and tear of driving the car, you would definitely want to go with bearings for there. Not quite sure why Kyosho didn't include it for there. And also in the steering, plastic bushings, but I also had some bearings laying around from Plague Bearings that we put in there as well. So they were the same size, and it's the same size as the bushings that they mention in the manual. So I upgraded that. Probably the steering, not too, you could grease up the plastic bushings maybe, but definitely in those diffs, I think sort of reducing friction, getting more efficiency there, and I think long term, you know, maintenance of the car, probably go with bearings there. Another cool thing that I found with this kit here is that it does come with a slipper clutch standard. It comes with a pinion gear for your motor, and I said that sort of metal alloy motor mount, that's a nice touch, and the metal alloy prop shaft. So you don't really get that on sort of other kits. Now this one's, I think, in the sort of high 400s. So if you are comparing it to the TTO2B, then I guess you, by the time you got the TTO-B and optioned it with a lot of alloy parts, some upgraded steering, metal motor mount, alloy prop shaft, adjustable turnbuckles, etc., I guess you are kind of looking at a similar price point to this. So I guess between the two of them, you could spec a TTO2B to be like this. Now, I haven't really driven this one yet. We will do a build drive video soon on the channel, but I definitely feel that this one's going to outperform. Just the way it goes together, you can tell it's definitely a step above the rest. So, electronics-wise, we didn't go too crazy. I had one of the easy run Hobbywing brushless system combos laying around here. It's not censored. It's a 4000 kV setup. Goes in there nicely, so it should have a lot of punch. So that's a Hobbywing ESC and the motor. And I just used a low-profile SPT servo that I've used before on the channel and paired it with the Noble low-profile receiver and the Noble Pro remote. So it all seems to go quite nice. Now, one thing I'll have to play around with, it's not too bad at the moment, but you would notice here that I have shortened all of the cables from the motor to the ESC. Now, I initially did that just because the cabling on these motors is quite large. Obviously gives you plenty of opportunity for different applications, but there's no room. So when you put the body on, the motor is really much over this section here. So there's no room for wires, there's no room for anything like that. So I've trimmed it all down and still I feel that the body's still slightly sitting up on this side of the car because of the motor and the wires. Now, I may be able to rotate the motor to get it out of the way, but I think at the moment, the way that I've sort of got them sitting there, I'm getting away with it. You get a little driver here. Didn't put too much effort into that one, just painted it white, painted the seat and whatnot black, and you do get a few stickers. One thing that I do find odd with the car, and we'll have to see how it goes when we run it, is obviously in the back of the car here you get this sort of Lexan cover here for your gears and whatnot. So it looks pretty good, but then underneath the car you can sort of see that there is an opening where the spur gear is open. So I guess that if you are running this in dirt and debris, I kind of feel that you're going to get some dirt in there, going to get into the spur gear. You might start damaging that gear. I'm not too sure, but then again, it could be in there to let dirt and dust out that's going to get in the top. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. Or what I was thinking of was just putting sort of some heavy duty tape over this when we do take it for a run to avoid that. So all in all, as it sits here now, a beautiful car. One thing that I did notice about this just once I built it is how smooth it is. You know, it's got one thing I didn't mention before. It actually, you do sort of put some thick sort of oil grease in the diffs, so they are kind of oil diffs, I guess. So super smooth, bearings throughout. Shocks are really nice too for a plastic shock. So yeah, it's ticking all the boxes, but we'll just have to see when we take it for a run. Well, that's it for today's video. Just a quick look at the Kyosho Dirt Cross 4-wheel drive buggy. I think it's fantastic, and I guess one thing that I didn't really talk about in the beginning was that I sent a few pictures of this to some of my friends and like, oh no, not really interested in that one because I've got the Dirt Master. Now, I didn't get a Dirt Master because I kind of felt that it was basically a Genova, and I'd spent a bit of money on the Genova, and the Dirt Master looked a bit plastic. Now, since building this and comparing it to, I guess, the Genova or the Dirt Master, some pictures or some other builds that I've seen online, I would actually find that this is completely different. And yeah, I think this would be a cool build for someone that's probably built a few Tamiya's, wants to step up to a bit nicer build, but also wants a durable car, 4-wheel drive to go and use. So things that I may do to this, we may upgrade the wheels, but then again, I just want to enjoy this one. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you've got one, if you've done any tips and upgrades, be sure to let me know if there's anything that I've missed. And don't forget that we also have a 10% off code for Plague Bearings. So go and check that one out in the description for how to get that discount. So until then, I'll see you on the next video. Just let me know what you think. Bye.